Alright, you ready?
I'm ready.
You want to go first?
No, you go first.
Hey everybody, welcome to All Systems Go. This is going to be our first video on our YouTube channel. My name's Kevin.
I'm Chris.
And we're going to be doing a game pickups video for our first video. So, you want to go first, my friend? Or?
I think you should go first.
Alright. Let's see. My first one will be this bad boy. Nightmare Creatures on the Dreamcast. One of the reasons why I grabbed this game, because it says on the cover, music by Rob Zombie. I was
Indeed.
like, what, dude? Are you kidding me? Like, I remember Rob Zombie being in, Twisted Metal 3. That's actually how I got introduced to him, Meet the Creeper. But seeing that, I was like, oh, I need to scoop this bad boy up and try it out. And I've tried a little bit of it. It's interesting. The controls feel kind of weird. But
yeah, the game was not. It wasn't bad for its time.
The first one was on what though?
PS1.
PS1. Okay. The second one was never released on PS1.
Yep.
Oh, it was.
It was.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I'm glad I got a copy of it. And also, zombies coming around. Was it Static X? Yeah, next weekend it's gonna be. But yeah, that was a good one.
Alright, my first one that I will show off, I just picked up a couple days ago, last weekend actually, is Pitfall for the Atari 2600. This game I specifically chose to show because my good friend Kevin here hates this game.
That is literally the first game I've ever played in my life. My grandmother had an Atari, a bunch of games, I popped that in, and I couldn't get past the first hole. And I never played it again.
See, the other reason I brought this up is, of course, like I said, I just reacquired an original Atari 2600. Had like 15 games with it. Got an amazing deal. But also, just so happens, right after I pick it up, Lego announces they're coming out with it for the 50th anniversary of Atari. Atari's 50.
Now, it's going to be the same size as an Atari, correct? Like,
it is.
Legit?
It's like a one-for-one, same size as the original Atari. The games are the same size. Obviously, it doesn't plug in, but otherwise, it's an Atari. It's a scale, so I'm going to have that one next to the real Atari, and then try to figure out which one it is you're going to play.
Did it say how many pieces it was? It's not crazy like the Millennium Falcon, thousands of pieces.
It's like 2,500 pieces.
Oh my god.
2,400 and something.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Alright, man, let me see. Alright. You were actually with me when I acquired these.
I was.
We were at a flea market one day, and I was going to scoop up one of these games. It's called Top Secret Golgo 13. And the reason why I grabbed two of them was I noticed the Nintendo labels were different. And the guy selling it was like, I didn't even notice that. So I grabbed them both because there's actually multiple things different about these. Like on the back, there's no year. This one says 1985. There's no year on this one. It has the copyright circle and M next to Nintendo. This one only has the M with a circle next to Nintendo. So I was like, why is there two different variants? So that's why I scooped them up both, but I have not been able to figure out why there's two.
Up, right?
I've been looking into it, but I can't find anything. So hopefully somebody knows why there's two different Nintendo labels on it.
And the guy asked you if they were both three, or if they were 3 or 5 screw.
Yep, yeah. They are both 3 screws, and they look exactly the same except for that Nintendo banner.
The official seal.
Yeah, the official seal. So I was like, well, I'm gonna grab both of them because I think it's kind of unique.
Have you tried playing it yet?
Nope, not yet.
No.
Not yet. No, soon.
Oh, next. Alright, I did pick this up a little while back, but the original copy of Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII, for the PSP.
Amazing game. Amazing game.
It is an amazing game. And the funny thing about this one, again, the remake has been announced and it's coming out this winter.
And it's going to be a
PS4.
PS4 and PS5?
Probably PS5, but at least PS4.
Okay.
They're actually redoing a lot of it as far as the gameplay. They're fixing it, modernizing it, so it'll be better.
Cool.
Than it was, and the graphics will look a ton better. I mean, it didn't. This looked pretty badass on the PSP. When it came, and for a handheld, you essentially had a PS2 in your hand. That was insane. But you'll have 2 joysticks this time because the PSP only had 1. But yeah, and it'll be on PS4. So
I remember that was literally the first PSP game I got, and not like I want to say like a year and a half later, I finally got a PSP. So that was literally the first PSP game I ever played, and it was a blast, man. I absolutely loved it.
It is a great game. It's a lot of fun. You get to play as Zack. Learn some of his backstory that wasn't completely discussed in the game, but
yeah, there was Crisis Core, and then there was something else.
Before Crisis.
Before Crisis, but that was on the phone.
And we never got that. That was
Never got that. Yeah.
Yeah, we never got that one. But we did get this, and we're getting it again in the winter, ahead of the remake Part 2 next year sometime maybe.
Can't wait for that. Cannot wait for that one. All right. I grabbed this one. Brought me back to my childhood. Tenchu Stealth Assassins. I played the crap out of this when it first came out. I absolutely loved this game, and like I loaded it up and played some of it, and the controls are so janky, but it still brings me back. Like I remember throwing grenades at people and sneaking up walls and buildings, and it's actually a really, really fun game, and especially for its time, and just the whole stealth was a lot of fun. It took me a while to remember how it worked, but it was a blast to play.
It was what, 96, 7?
98.
8.
Yeah, 98 it was. And then there's 2, 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a couple of those, I believe.
I believe they might have went all the way up to 4, but to me this was the absolute favorite. Was the very first one, Tenchu Stealth Assassins.
It was classic.
Absolute classic. And I actually just noticed something with my copy. It has a chrome disc, so that means it's a greatest hits disc.
It might. It might be.
Really? I remember this disc being like black though. No? That I'm gonna have to look into. Because I don't think the original had a chrome disc.
I don't remember.
No, I didn't notice it. But who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But it's still a great game to play. And I highly recommend playing it.
Oh, alright. Kevin asked me to bring these by.
Yes!
Here we have the American Steelbook Premium Edition of Resident Evil 4.
I'll give you a hand, buddy. You got 2 this time.
And we have the European Edition Steelbook Resident Evil 4. Both for the PlayStation 2.
I just love the different country, different artworks, you know?
I love the bloody handprint like on the side of this.
Yeah. I mean, this is the actual cover they used for the regular case, correct?
Yep, the regular plastic box with
Yeah.
the same cover on it. I'm not sure about the European. I don't have a regular copy of those. But
Oh, wow, yeah. Complete everything.
yeah,
That's absolutely beautiful.
everything's in there. The lithograph, the behind the scenes DVD, or
All the
whatever it
manuals,
was.
everything.
Yep, all there.
Limited edition, 60,100, and this is number 47,287.
Nothing
Nice.
special, but it's one of them.
Nice.
And it is complete. It's all there.
Oh, it's not closing for me. There you go. Hell yeah.
This was, of course, another ironic timing.
Yeah.
Because the remake of this was just announced.
What do you feel about the remake?
I'm feeling better than I felt about the remake of 3.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like 3. 2 was amazing.
The remake of 2 was great. The remake of 3, it felt shorter. It was shorter. It had a lot cut out of it. Personally, I didn't like the visual portrayal of Jill. The way the art direction, the way they had her look. Which wasn't my Jill, we'll say. I mean, the game was still fun. It was still fun to play. But the B team, we'll say, from Capcom made the remake of Part 3. The A team remade Part 2. and then they went on to work and finish on Resident Evil 8. So that's why the B team kind of rushed out Part 3. While the A team is back on redoing Part 4. And they're redoing it from the ground up, just like with 2 and 3.
Yeah, 4, I played 4.
I have played the hell out of 4.
I didn't get super far into it, just the controls felt weird to me. But I was also playing on a GameCube, and I wasn't really used to a GameCube controller.
Yeah.
So I think now that this remake's coming out, I'll be able to actually get into it and play it, because I'll be on a console that I know really well. I mean, we're all systems go, but it does take time to get used to some controllers, because if you haven't played that console in a long time, it's like, wait, where's the X button? Like,
that's not the X button, that's the A button. Why are you telling me to press X? This is A.
Like, my girlfriend got me a Switch for my birthday last year, and it's like, push B, and I'm like, I am. No, I'm not. Oh my god. Like, the buttons are completely backwards on the Switch.
Yeah, I'm PlayStation, so when I go to play something on Xbox, like, press X. I am. Nope, it's not X. It's just... But yeah, this is on GameCube, PS2. I have it digitally on PS3. I have a physical copy on PS4, which is the remaster. And then, of course, the original on PS2, 2 originals on PS2. And I'll be picking it up, Resident Evil 4, again, when it comes out next year for the PS5.
Yeah, only 2, 3, and Code Veronica X were Dreamcast, right? 4 was never on the Dreamcast.
No.
So 2, 3, and Code Veronica.
No, 4 was made for Nintendo, and that was when they made a deal with Capcom to make... Well, they made the remake of Part 1 for GameCube. And then they said that they were going to remake release all of the Resident Evil games going forward for Nintendo. And they put out 0, which they had actually been working on since the N64. Part 1, the remake, which is the perfect way to play Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 2 and 3 were ports from the PS1 version.
Yep.
Then Resident Evil 4 was made for the GameCube. And then, I don't know, somebody at Nintendo must have been asleep for a little while, because Capcom said, hey, PlayStation, you want Resident Evil 4? And we got that copy as well. It's kind of funny how that worked. But, yeah, I'm stoked for the remake of 4. I've seen the trailer. I've watched it like 16 times.
Hell yeah.
It looks great.
Hell yeah. Alright, my next one is, my girl got me into this anime. It's a huge hit, but Attack on Titan. And we watch animes here and there. We watched a bunch of them front to back. And then the new season just got put up some time ago. And so we started watching it. And then one day I was like, oh, I just like eBay just Attack on Titan. And I noticed video game popped up. And sure enough, there's 3 games. There's this part, there's the second part, and then there's the final chapter. And the whole 3 games is the whole anime series. It's the whole thing. So I got the first one in. And I'm looking forward to actually checking it out. I mean, you can actually, do the grappling hook thing and fly around and kill the titans and all that. And I was like, that looks kind of wild. But I haven't tried it out yet. But I'm actually looking forward to checking this out. We're almost done with the last season. I think we have a few more episodes to go, and it's really good. I highly recommend watching it. It just sucks because the last chapter of this, the cheapest I've seen it so far is like $160, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so expensive for one game. Like, especially something so new,
That's like trying to complete the Xenosaga trilogy. Xenosaga 1, not bad, $20-$30. Part 2, complete, about 50. Part 3, about 150, 160.
Yeah.
Up. It's
like that with this. I think I got this for like $35, and then the second one is about $45, $50, and then the third one's like $1. I've seen it as high as over $200. I'm like, oh my god. But that's the fun of being a collector, is the hunt,
That is.
Trying to find stuff cheap and complete.
Find deals, complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan.
So this is a weird one. I've never actually played it. I can't. I don't have a European PS2. And this was never released outside of Europe. Of course, Underworld. And this is a legit copy. It was released. It's retail. Came from England.
Was it only released in
Europe and Australia?
Or, I was going to say Australia as well, like not Japan, not like that? Just
Europe and Australia, PAL territories.
Oh, wow.
And, it was never released here. I've seen video of it. I've read reviews of it. It's not bad. It's kind of generic. It's like a movie tie-in game, but it's Underworld. I love the movies. Celine, Kate. I mean, how can you go wrong? You get to run around and shoot stuff, fight werewolves.
So you probably a modded PS2 might work, right?
Yeah, if I were to mod, I'm not going to mod my PS2 anytime soon, but I can pick up another one and mod that. I have to be able to play it. But yeah, because it won't play in my system as is. It's a Europe release only. But it's not common, and I definitely don't know anybody else over here in the States with one. I know there are other people, but just none that I know.
Cool, man. Hell yeah. Unique pieces are always cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is one of the first games I got when I got my Switch. And if you haven't noticed, some of these games we've had for a while. So
a little bit.
We just picked out some, obviously some of these games are recent pickups that we just got, but some of them are also ones we had in our collection for a while, but we figured we'd just talk about them. Terraria. This game, oh my god. The first time I played this was on the 360. It was like one of the free games of the month. I downloaded it, and then like a few months later, I loaded it up and played it, and I played it for 12 hours, non-stop. And I haven't had a game hook me like that in so long, and I basically describe it to people, it's a side-scroller Minecraft.
Yeah, because it looks a lot, the art style looks very Minecraft.
Yeah, and, excuse me, so I have it on my 360, I have it on my Xbox One, and I have it on the Switch. This game is a lot of fun. You can dump hundreds of hours into this, just building your cities and getting your people to your towns and crafting stuff, and you can literally mine all the way to hell. Like, it's wild. There's all these different biomes, or biomes they call them, and it's a lot of fun, and its replay value is way up there. Like, I think on my 360 I must have like 7 different worlds.
So you can just, every time you play it's a different world, just like Minecraft.
Yeah, you can pick from a small, medium, or large world. I always pick a large, and then you can have world 1, World 2, World 3, World 4, World 5, World 6, and then you can pick your character. So you can use whatever character you want in whatever world you want.
Can you make your character?
Yep. Yeah. It's not as intense as you would say like a game like Elden Ring. Like you can change like the color and like the hair and stuff like that. But it's still a lot of fun. It really is.
Nice. It looks very interesting.
I don't know if this is on PlayStation. It should be.
It's on the Switch and Xbox, I would believe it probably has to be.
I hope so, yeah, because I highly recommend you pick up this game and try it out. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it really sucks in the beginning because you have nothing, but that's what makes it fun. Highly recommend it, though. Highly recommend this game.
Nice. Oh, let's see what I got here.
Come on, what do you got? Hurry up.
Little Legend. This game is an underrated classic.
I still haven't played it.
It has one of the best soundtracks of all time. It is almost purely actual metal. While you're roaming around in the world, the whole world looks like a 3D, old school, like 80s album cover.
Yep.
But it's alive, and you can drive through it and climb on shit, and like the creatures and stuff running through it. It looks like an Iron Maiden album, or Bat Out of Hell even, from Meatloaf. Like, it all just, there's a wall that's literally a cliff made of like a Marshall stack. And it's called the Wall of Thunder, I think, or the Wall of Screams, or something like that. And it's literally just, like, the bass will just pump out from it, and you just see the air move. But it's Jack Black as a roadie, Eddie Riggs. I mean,
oh man,
it's got Ozzy, it's got Priest, it's got Lennon, Lita Ford, it's got so many people in it. It's like,
it's one of those hidden gems, you can say.
It is.
Yeah.
The problem that it got a lot of slack for was there's these weird RTS, almost like Command and Conquer style battles, to where most of the game you're running around in third person fighting stuff, but then there'll be like these stage battles where you literally have like control of a stage, and it's like you're sending out like your roadies and different armed guys, different, like, you got melee attackers and range attackers, and you're sending them out into this crowd. It's like fighting a crowd. It's like the Wall of Death, the game. But it plays so different from the rest of the game that it's very jarring at first, and a lot of people were like, I don't get it. but it's a great. I actually own 2 copies of this on PS3 and 360, just because it's that good. Like I think everybody should pick this game up and play it. And Jack Black is amazing as he always is.
It must be comedic too.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Jack Black,
It's absolutely hilarious. It's got different versions, options. You can turn the blood or gore off, or the language off.
Mm-hmm.
But if you leave it on, Jack Black will just start swearing like to no end. At one point in the beginning, this guy's about to get his head cut off, and it'll pause the game and tell you, do you want gore or no gore? And if you pick yes, then an axe goes through his head pops off, and blood starts shooting out like you're at a guar show. It's amazing. But definitely.
Do you know if that's available on the PS4 store? Like, is it digitally downloadable,
No.
or do you have to have a physical copy?
No, it has to be. It's physical only. At least
Okay.
on PlayStation. I don't know about Xbox backwards compatibility, but I have 360. My 360 copy works, and this works on my PS3. So.
All right, cool.
But yeah, I definitely recommend finding a copy of this. It's not even that expensive now. I think it's like maybe $20-25
Yeah.
somehow. But it's definitely a hidden gem, underrated severely. Highly, highly recommend it. And the soundtrack is metal to hell. So like.
Hell yeah. I'll have to find me a copy of that.
Oh yeah, you do.
This I got in the other day. This is actually my first Shadow box. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, and if you can see behind me,
No, you're not.
this this right here, this is all Final Fantasy, all of it. And I also have more up on the shelf over there, but I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, and this is my first Shadow box. I'm gonna get up closer, just so you can kind of see it. But it's the part where the Midgar Zolom is impaled on the tree. Did Sephiroth do this? No, he didn't do that. You know that Zolom, he decided to end his life. You know.
He knew
But-
Cloud was coming. He was like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
But yeah, this is the first one I ever had, and I was I've ever gotten, and I was like, this is absolutely amazing. I love it. It's beautiful looking, and now I want more. So I made a bad decision, but I love it though. I think it looks really cool. I really don't have a spot to put it yet because this is completely freaking full on me. But
Yeah, this whole 3x3 is all Final Fantasy.
yeah, this is all Final Fantasy. Everything like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like this whole top row here is 1 to the most recent one.
15.
You can say, yeah, and then mixtures throughout. But one of my goals as a collector, it's nearly impossible to do, but a complete Japanese and American Final Fantasy collection. I'm on my way. I have a pretty decent collection as it is, but that's gonna be like I'm gonna need just one wall for that.
Yeah, you are.
I went on Wikipedia like years ago, and I was like, oh, let me see all the Final Fantasy games, and then I looked and I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of games. And I haven't even started collecting for the handhelds that much.
No,
Like I have a small amount.
I see a bunch of DS games. Well, I don't see a bunch of DS games.
I got
but
one
know I
DS,
have.
a few Game Boys, and then the PSP, and then the Switch. I really wouldn't consider handheld. It is, but
It is, but it's not.
yeah. But I really haven't even gone down that route yet. But that makes the fun of it, you know.
I'm collecting. This gem right here. Another game, of course, one of my favorites, Lollipop Chainsaw. This game is absurd, over the top, ridiculous. A lot of the music was done by Jimmy Urine of My No Self-Indulgence. He's actually a boss in the game as well.
Really?
Really. The main character, Juliet, she is voiced by Tara Strong, who did Harley Quinn in a couple of the Arkham games. She was Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh,
I think that's his name. I think she's done a couple of My Little Pony. She's a huge voice actress.
Mm-hmm.
But this is ridiculous.
And you think you could consider that another hidden gem, kind of? Like, was it really popular when it came out?
I don't know.
I don't remember hearing about it back in the day.
I knew when it was coming out, but of course I'm big into horror.
Yeah.
So
but you also used to
chainsaws,
work at a
zombies.
GameStop too, so
I did for a while, yeah.
Yeah.
But I knew about this coming out, and this is right up my alley. One of my alleys.
he has multiple alleys.
I do. But this is another great game that somehow just kind of slipped through the cracks. It went up. It is crazy in price on the aftermarket. eBay, Mercari.
Yeah.
People are charging now a lot of money for this.
And it's on the 360 as well, correct?
Yeah,
PS3 and 360?
And 360. And this, oddly enough, for the 10th anniversary, the company behind it, a bunch of the developers left and formed their own studio and bought the rights to this and are remaking it for current generation consoles. So PS5, Xbox Series X, probably PS4, Xbox One. But they are working on it and it will be released next year. They said really the only thing that's going to be different is they're keeping the story the same, the graphics the same, Juliet's look. A lot of people were concerned about them changing, making her more modest. Nope, they're not. The only thing they're changing is going to have better graphics, more realism to the gore. I mean, you can do like cheerleading moves like cartwheels while pulling zombies' heads off with your feet and then getting up and chainsawing into a crowd, and you got a rainbow and sparkles that shoot out everywhere. Like, that literally happens all the time in this game. It's not even a joke. Like, I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. But yeah, so they're remaking this, and all that is going to be back, and
Cool.
just as insane as ever.
What time late next year? Like, you know, first, second, third, fourth quarter?
Just
No idea.
next year.
Just next
as
year at
of
some
right
point?
now. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you said they just announced it. I think the remake was, or the anniversary was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
The 10th anniversary, and they were like, "Hey, Lollipop Chainsaw's coming back," and sure enough, they confirmed it.
Cool, cool. I'll be looking for that one.
Oh yeah, you should.
So this was another game that I scooped up at the flea market with Chris a weekend or so ago. I actually got this one with those Nintendo games, but this is Hard Driving for the Sega. I remember having this as a kid.
I used to play that all the time in the arcade.
Yeah, I remember playing in the arcade too, and it has everything, manual, you know, the game. She's all there. I even like the fact that it still has the
little hanger
on it. But yeah, I remember playing this as a kid. Like I had it on the Sega, and then going to the arcades and actually sitting there and playing it. Like I remember trying to do the loop-de-loop all the time, and I'd always die, if you could say I died in it, but
Crash.
yeah, this was actually a really fun game, and honestly, I never knew growing up. Tengen, that's the same company with the Tetris game. Is that it?
They made a lot of arcade games. I'm trying to remember another one off the top of my head, but I know the logo. I have it like seeing on screen. That part is like branded into my head, but I'm trying to recall.
But you know what I'm talking about though? That Tetris game that was made, that was like Nintendo tried to sue because it was not a licensed game. I think I'm thinking of a different name.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
I think I am thinking of a different game. But I like it. The case was in really good condition, so that's why I scooped it up.
Yeah, for what you got that for, you got an amazing deal.
Basically $10 I scored this for.
Yeah.
Which wasn't bad at all.
$10 complete, and 20 years after it came out.
Oh my god, no dude. 89.
Well, 89 in the arcades. The Sega Genesis wasn't out in 89.
Oh yeah, right. Brain fart. No man, this came out in 89. What are you talking about?
Oh, let's see. Alright, so I don't know much about this particular game. I know you do. You would know more than I do.
I know a little bit about it. I mean, I have it on the 64, but I really never played
Well,
too
you
much
have
to it.
Perfect Dark on the 64. This is Perfect Dark 0.
Yeah, so I
This was made right. This is one of the 360 launch games, or close to it.
yeah.
I actually just got this for a ridiculous deal, and it is all there, 100% complete. Steelbook is flawless. Yeah, I mean it's got all the inserts. The funniest thing about this,
Oh wow.
yeah, it's got this little holographic card in it. But what's really funny is this.
What is that?
An offer for Samsung mobile phones, but look at the picture of the
Oh my
phone.
god, it's a freaking flip phone. Can you believe that?
I'm pretty sure that offer's not valid anymore.
I don't know, man. I think you should call it might. Visit SamsungWireless.com to get an exclusive Perfect Dark Zero ringtone, voice tones, and wallpaper. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is all in here. Complete holographic.
Oh, that's cool.
The back of it's wicked. The whole thing's shiny.
Oh, wow. I wonder what the 2-9 stands for.
Yeah, I don't know that either. Maybe there were 9 different ones that would come with it.
That's cool.
But yeah, I couldn't believe that was still in here. And for what I paid for it, the condition it's in.
I've been seeing these a lot online for sale, and I've been wanting to scoop one up, but now I need to know that it does have everything.
It has a bonus DVD.
Yep.
And the game itself.
And then the game.
And I know it was basically like a sequel. Perfect Dark.
Holy crap!
Yeah, that is wicked heavy.
Dude, you could beat somebody.
You could knock somebody out with that.
Oh my god!
Steelbooks are heavy, but that one's solid.
That really has some heft to it, dude. Like, wow.
I know the first one, Perfect Dark, on the 64, was made, I believe, on the same engine, because it's rare. It was made by, the same engine basically as GoldenEye.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like another GoldenEye type game.
Yeah, yeah.
And then this was completely rehauled because Microsoft acquired Rare, and therefore the rights to that, and made that game for when the 360 came out.
Dude, I can't get over how heavy that is.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I wasn't expecting that. Holy crap.
That's got some heft to it.
Wow. Wow.